Hello everyone, I'm Victoria and today I have another Top 5 Wednesday for you. What's Top 5 Wednesday? It's a Goodreads group that was started by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey and is now moderated by Sam from Thoughts on Tones. As always, links down in the description. Today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is our favorite unlikable protagonists. So these are protagonists that maybe have some character flaws, but we were still pulling for them anyway. My first choice is Quentin from The Magicians by Lev Grossman. So Quentin is not a likable character, again, hence the unlikable protagonist thing. He is definitely selfish and thinks about himself all the time. He's pretty depressed and doesn't know how to deal with that. He's quite frankly a little douchey. But despite that, I was pulling for him. I could see that there was some potential there. In the midst of saying things that maybe weren't the best, he realized like, oh, these words are not the best words that should be coming out of my mouth. And sometimes after he would do something that was hurtful towards someone, he would instantly regret his actions and feel really bad about it and wish that he could make it better and try and think of different ways in order to make it better. So there was definitely potential there. There was a good character underneath it all. And going into the second book, which I have read so far, he definitely has made some improvement, and I'm just pulling for him to make even more improvement in the third and final book. So of course, any list would not be complete if I didn't include at least one historical romance on this. And so for this, I'm going to choose Lord Dane from Lord of Scoundrels by Lorraine Heath. Lord Dane has had a really difficult childhood, a lot of trauma has happened to him, and as a result, he's kind of like this wounded animal that lashes out at anyone that comes near him, even people that are trying to help him. He's full of anger and he really just is intent on not allowing anyone inside his inner circle and trying to keep everyone sort of at a distance, definitely emotionally at a distance. Doesn't matter, again, if they're trying to help. It's a real testament to Lorraine Heath's writing that she's able to take such a almost unlikable character and make the reader want him to get his happily ever after. And he does, and that's what's so fantastic about this story, is you have the love interest Jessica, who is a perfect foil for Dane. She's able to kind of coax him out from his shell, and she's able to kind of really connect with him, and so finally they do get their happily ever after. The next character I'm going to choose is Iona from Eon and Iona Duology by Allison Goodman. So Iona is a young girl, well, not too young, she's a teenager, but she's masquerading as a young boy. The reason that I really like her character in this, despite major flaws, is that she does whatever she needs to do to succeed and not be found out as a young girl. And so she definitely does not make the best choices or the wisest decisions, but they're what she thinks she has to do at that point in time to protect her identity, because she will be killed if they find out that she is a girl and not a boy. And so she does do things like not trusting people, not being completely honest, lying, being duplicitous, but honestly, it's what she felt she needed to do at the time. So I love her for her survival instinct and her willingness to fight. Again, it does not mean that she is a morally superior character, and it definitely means she makes lots of mistakes, but I think it's so realistic for a young girl to be put in a situation like this to kind of lie and manipulate the way that she does. Next up is kind of a twofer, so I couldn't really decide between these two characters. I really love them both. They both have their issues, but I just want them both to be so happy in the end. So I'm gonna go with Ronan and Adam from the Raven Quartet, or Raven Cycle. Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. So both these characters have their flaws. As I said, Ronan has like huge anger management issues. He's just full of rage because of what happened to his father and also the supposed gift that he has, and he has a lot of trouble working through that and trying to figure out exactly what he wants out of life. And then we have Adam, who kind of has this chip on his shoulder because he is poor but going to a private school where most of the other boys there are really wealthy, and he constantly has this doubt that maybe the other boys that he's friends with are actually just friends with him because they pity him. And so these two characters really have a lot of issues to work through, but I was definitely pulling for them both, and I love them so much. I love them so much, and I'm so happy that they were, by the end of the series, have such amazing amounts of character growth. They kind of become much more settled, much more mature, and I just absolutely love them both. And last but not least, I'm going old school here, and I'm going to pick Mr. Rochester from Jane Eyre. So, Mr. Rochester actually is not a nice guy. If you go back and really reread this and not think so much about the romance between the two of them. What his actual actions are, they're pretty jerky, honestly. He's not the best guy. What he does to Jane is not fantastic. The whole flirting with Blanche and pretending maybe there's going to be an engagement with her just to kind of like get Jane jealous and maybe see if she's into him or not, and then the whole pretending to be a gypsy and read Jane's fortune, and of course the whole trying to marry Jane despite the fact that he, spoilers, already has a wife, and that would be illegal. Yeah, so not that nice guy, and yet, you know what? I didn't care. I was still pulling for him to get the gal and end up with Jane. And that's why the ending is so wonderful, because he's properly humbled at the end of this. He and Jane are at the same level, and so they can come together as equals, and it's just a fantastic ending. So that's been another Top 5 Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't, please subscribe, and also thank you for watching. Well, thank you for watching again, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.